I'm gonna give you the exact order for your first 3 credit cards. As a college student and a young adult, this is the best time to start building your credit. Here are my credit card recommendations and experiences that are 0 fee as a finance major. Before I go through them, you want to remember the first rule of having a credit card is to use it as a debit card. Do not put anything on the card unless you have the money in your account, regardless of the fact that you might get paid tomorrow or you get paid next week. The first card is usually the hardest to get recommended for because you have no credit history, and that's why I recommend the Discover Student IT card. This card is going to give you a solid limit of maybe of $1,000 to $3,000, but it also has revolving categories of 5% cash back, which means for every dollar you spend, you get 5 cents back, which is super high. Before you get another card, you want to make sure you keep your Discover Student IT card for at least a year, because every time you apply for a new card, it bips your credit score down a little bit temporarily. After you've kept that, you're going to want to go into your Save Your IT Capital One card. Now, this is a good card because it's going to give you 3% back on dining and entertainment, which is pretty much anything a college student spends their money on. So you're going to get the best bang for your buck, and there's still a $0 annual fee. Capital One also has a fire high yield savings account, and we all know we need that with the inflation going on. After you had your Capital One card for about a year, now you have your Discover and your Capital One card. You go into your next card, which is an Amex. It's going to be your Blue Cash Daily Amex credit card. Now, what this card does is you get 3% on gas, supermarkets, and any online retail purchases, which is pretty much everything. So now by the end of college, we have 3 cards that we can use interchangeably. We have our Amex, we can use at the supermarket and for online purchases like Amazon. We have our Capital One, which we can use for food. And then we usually just use the Discover card for anything in that 5% cash back over that 3-month rotation period. You've done all this while bumping up your credit score, because the more lines of credit you have, the higher your credit score is going to go, especially when you're paying down your accounts every month so you have 0% credit utilization.